Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott MacKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk. Thank you for your continued support of the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates industry professionals all around the world. You are bold, brave, you dare greatly. You innovate, you collaborate, you solve problems each and every day. That's why we celebrate you, because you're making the world a better place. If you can hear some sound in the background, we are broadcasting on site. IoT Solutions World Congress, Barcelona, Spain is the location, and it is a collection of problem solvers destined to make life better. You gotta put this on your calendar as a must-attend event. All right, Sally's in the hot seat. Honcho is the company. We're going to be talking more about e-paper alliance and all of the stuff that's associated with that. Let's get cracking. Hi, Sally.
Hi. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being on the show. I'm excited about hearing this.
Me too.
I'm telling you, it's just opened up my eyes. I didn't know that. It's one of those things that nobody knows about.
Yeah, but actually, it's around you all the time.
It's everywhere. That's the point.
Yeah.
We just take it for granted. And the listeners saying, what do you guys take it for granted? It's e-paper. It's just that whole technology associated. And we talk about the e-paper alliance. We're going to get into that. But it takes a lot of people to put it all together, to make it all work, and it makes sense. So anyway, I'm all giddy with excitement. Before we get into your conversation, give us a little background on who Sally is.
So my name is Sally Liang. I'm working for Hanshow Technology for more than 10 years. I'm now the Vice President and representing Hanshow Europe.
Oh, there she is. She's got some street cred. So with that said, give us a little understanding of Honcho. That's Hanshow. Make a note of that, listener. Honcho, give us a little background.
So our major business is basically electronic shelf labeling. So it is a solution that for retailers, instead of having the paper price tag on the shelf, as usually you see that in
everywhere.
stores.
I see it everywhere.
And today we have this technology that replaces the paper tags, and so it is electronic, with batteries inside, and with the e-ink, e-paper technology. So it looks like paper tag, but it's actually with the router, we call it access point. We are able to remote control and updating prices from distance. For example, if you have 1,000 stores all over the countries, you actually can manage all the prices changes at the same time from one location. So,
see, that's interesting, because if I was a retailer, such as a big retailer that starts with a W, then that gives me the ability. There's some advantages, some efficiency advantages that I can take advantage of, to where I can modify the pricing relatively easy to optimize whatever I'm trying to achieve in my strategy, my pricing strategy.
Exactly, because usually in the store operation, changing the prices especially for the food retailers is a huge job, and it's also consume a lot of paper. So with today, the green, let's say the green low carbon energy technology, we are able to save a lot of tree cuttings, and we save a lot of labors, so that the staff in the stores, they can actually spend time on increasing customers' buying experiences instead.
How difficult is it to take sort of that e-signage to upgrade and come into a store and say, okay, I see all the pricing signage, and I see it. This is a perfect application. How difficult is it for me to just sort of change that?
You mean change the prices?
Just I'm paper today. I'm going to be e-paper tomorrow.
I see.
And how do I make that transition?
Well, it's not that difficult, I must say, because we usually do the deployment during when the stores are closed. So, for example, some of our customers they bind the label with the product before moving to the store. So everything will be done before actually being put in the store, and then everything's set up, and then they shut down the store in the evening, and they move everything there and put them in the right place. So binding, it takes a bit time, but if you do it, you don't have to do it in the store, because the hours that opening are golden hours, so you don't want to take those hours away.
No.
Yeah, therefore, so a lot could be done. And of course, we also need to install access point on the ceilings, which giving the signals to the labels.
Yes.
So that is another separate job to be done.
What about? So now I have my e-paper signage. I've installed my routers or my
access points.
So I'm able to now communicate. I'm good.
Exactly.
What about the software that manages the pricing? So I get it. Now I've got to be able to say, okay, I'm ready to modify.
Yeah. Basically, you will have a software that's easy to manage. It's very visible, and it's a dashboard, and you are able to see how the ESL working. There are few ESL maybe is offline, so you are able to monitor how the ESL is working online. So
who provides that solution?
It depends. We usually with those large retailers, they have very strong IT capabilities. So they make their own dashboards.
In-house.
We provide the API.
Yes.
But sometimes we work with our distributors, and they provide also the dashboard towards the customers. So for those smaller retailers, they are able to have, let's say, ready-made solution too.
Fascinating. When you manufacture these products, you've seen a lot of changes. You've been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Have you always been in the e-paper business, the Honcho, or is this?
It's about like since I work with Hanshow, I've been in this business for, let's say, 10 years, 11 years. So yes, there are huge changes. Originally, actually, the ESL, ESL's short version of electronic shelf labeling.
Thank you. I was getting ready to go, what does that mean?
So ESL was originally like 20 years ago, actually, in Europe. The earliest, let's say, usage was applied in France, for example, and in some retailers in Germany. So, but I think about 6-7 years ago, it started to boost. So we see that pretty much more and more new retailers are adapting the technologies. I think it's coming from some pressures from the, let's say, the development of e-commerce, partly, but also the pandemic is definitely one of the, let's say, the reasons to boost the business. So during the pandemic, all the retailers are facing the issue of having not enough laborers, and also that the situation requires a lot of price changes. So they're having a hard time to manage the job. And besides, if they're having, they put the wrong price on the tax, if the consumer complains, they actually have to pay fines.
Oh.
So this is also to avoid like complaints and also penalties.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It does. I can only imagine the amount of work that goes into, coming in and I'm there's price changes, so I've got all these paper.
I need to print them. You need to print them.
You got to print.
And you have to put them in the right place.
Yes, exactly correct.
So it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But now you've streamlined it. From a price perspective, you see the price going down, be able to deliver these solutions?
Definitely, yes.
Because that's a driver.
Yeah, of course, because it's once the market is evolved, then of course the pricing is relatively lower compared to, let's say, 10 years ago, of course. So it's becoming more doable for most retailers.
Is there a lifespan for these?
Yeah. Let's put in two dimensions. One is the lifespan for the batteries.
Yes.
The other hand is the screen itself, the display itself. So usually today we managed to expand the battery life to 10 years. So, but of course, again, it depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
The more you use, of course, the more power you consume.
Sure.
So, of course, there is another solution is to replace the batteries when it's like on the 5th year or 6th year, you can replace the batteries and to extend the lifespan.
What about the screen? Does the screen begin to degrade over a period of time?
In theory, yes, there's a time limit, but let's say within 10 years you wouldn't see
10
much.
Years, that's just outrageous. It's like, no, nobody remembers that.
Yes. And besides, I'm sure there are like new technologies coming out.
I was just going to say, there's going to be something that
says... So you better,
Yeah, it's going to, like, hey, we got new signage, and it's all this e-paper stuff, and it's even better, stronger, faster. It's multicolored as whatever it is. Take advantage of that. Oh, that makes sense.
Exactly.
So where do you see it going? Like, what's the future look like?
Well, one direction, if you're talking about ESL itself, I think again one of the challenges is to add more features that actually fit customers' needs, because we can do a lot more than what we're doing now with the ESL. But of course, having more features means that we need more power. So providing sustainable power for the ESL, it's a new challenge for a company like us. But I need to stay confidential on this part, because we're working on even more greener technology. So make sure it's sustainable.
Sally, you were absolutely wonderful. How do people get a hold of you? Are you out on LinkedIn?
Great.
You're on LinkedIn?
Yes.
So if I want to get a hold of Sally and say, man, I'm interested in finding out more information, LinkedIn good for you?
Yeah, sure. You can find Hanshow on the LinkedIn as well.
Very good.
Yeah. Thank you.
You were wonderful. All right, listeners. We're going to wrap it up on the other side. We are broadcasting on site, IoT Solutions World Congress, Barcelona, Spain. Put this on your bucket list to attend. It's a great show. Do not miss out next year. Fun stuff. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Her name was Sally. The company is Honcho, Hanshow. The event was IoT Solutions World Congress as well as Barcelona Cybersecurity Congress. Both events were at the same location. We were talking electronic shelf labeling, which is very cool. Just fascinating technology, making the shopping experience even that much more better, if that's even English. All right. Reach out to Sally. She's out on Industrial Talk. Her LinkedIn profile is out there, so reach out, find out more about this electronic shelf labels. All right. You have a podcast, you have technology, you have something that you want to amplify, you need to put it out on Industrial Talk. You need to just go to Industrial Talk, click on Connect, you talk to me, Let's figure this out because you need to succeed. Industrial Talk is here for you to succeed, to get that message out. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. I say it all the time. Hang out with Sally, change the world. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.